indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, we pray, God, today, help us, Lord, give us strength. We pray that you would continue to be with our county, continue to be with our citizens. Pray that you continue to be with our country. We pray that you would help those that are hurting today. We pray for grace and mercy. And we pray, Lord, that your will be done. We ask it all in Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen. All right. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes of July the 7th as submitted?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Abstain.
In the matter of communication from Access Scioto County Public Transit regarding second quarter 2020 capital replacement transit reserve monthly invoice, charter service, and incidental use certifications.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 2? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 3? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of record of appointment of emergency management and authorization to execute applications and documents for Scioto County through Ohio Emergency Management Agency.
Questions or comments in regards to item 4? Hearing none?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in a total amount of $95,370.40.
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 5? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of request for fund transfers.
Questions or comments in regards to item 6? Hearing none?
Motion to approve the request.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. We'll forego item 7 for now. We'll come back to it to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation with legal counsel. That is in regards to the opioid lawsuit, which we've had several discussions about. But before we do that, we'll go to our ladies and gentlemen of the press, and then we'll move from there to go into executive session. So, gentlemen of the press, on items on the agenda.
I have a question on item number 4.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of speaks for itself, exactly what it is, but I was just wondering if you'd be willing to comment about the appointment as far as Mr. Mullins goes, and you know, what you expect out of the EMAs moving forward.
Of course, item 4 is I guess you would call the formal work that goes into making sure that Mr. Mullins is now officially the EMA director. Of course, he follows Kim Carver after a very long, distinguished career as our EMA director. He went through a long transition, 6 months. That should show the importance of this appointment to our county. So we took time to make sure that not necessarily everything is in writing, a lot of his experience, and that gave him time to learn some of those things from Kim. But everyone needs to understand also is that he is not a rookie either. Larry comes with a lot of operational know-how, has been part of EMA for many, many years, was the information officer for EMA, knows the contacts, knows the individuals, knows the process, knows the procedures, but we really felt strongly that we needed a extended time of transition, and Kim was very gracious in doing so, and came to us with a plan early on, wanting us to look at a certain timeline. So that is now in place. The official paperwork is done at the state level to make sure that everybody knows that Mr. Mullins is now in charge of EMA, and we look forward to, him continuing a great tradition of what we've had here in Scioto County. And I'm fully confident, we're fully confident in that he'll do that based upon his career and what he's done elsewhere at ASC before this. And of course, now there's been a transition there as well. But no, we're confident that it's going to go well. We are still in not a declared emergency now with COVID, but we still have a lot going on, a lot of preparation being done with PPE, et cetera, and he'll continue to do that throughout the days to come. So barring another natural disaster, which hopefully we don't see anytime soon, we don't ever know. That's why EMA is so important. But barring that from happening, he'll continue, of course, to prepare and to do the threat assessments and things like that to prepare. And EMA is a required department, in every county, and it's something that we support heavily.
And on item number 7, I know it's executive, there's very few things you can talk about. Has there been significant progress made?
Well, that's why we'll meet today. What we know about is pretty much what everybody else knows about. It's already made the papers, or there's been some action in some court cases lately, some decisions being made as far as when those court cases will be heard. We've heard that there's been some movement on that. They're discussing, what would a settlement look like? What would a potential settlement look like? We don't know 100% exactly what they'll be bringing to us today. That's the whole point behind executive session. But this just again is another update as to where we are in the process. Of course, we signed on to the One Ohio plan. Let's hope that will put us in a better position to get to the table quicker before, really, quite honestly, before all the money's gone. And that's the concern. And we were hoping that by signing on to the Ohio plan that we would see our day in court sooner. We'll see where that's going. Hopefully we'll get an update on that today. Okay. All righty. Brett, do you have anything?
Okay, item 2.
Item 2. Okay. Okay. Item 2 is the ASC Capital Replacement Fund and monthly invoice, charter service report, and incidental use fund certifications for ASC as follows. The Capital Replacement Fund is $87,525.15. Charter service report, there was no charter service report issued, and incidental use fund, there was no report issued on that as well. Basically, it's the breakdown of what they're doing, what they're spending, how much. Of course, ASC's ridership is down because of COVID. People are being kind of reserved, but it still, serves a very important purpose. And we get monthly updates, or we get quarterly updates from ASC on where they're at on their expenditures. Yes. Brian's working hard today.
Anything else on that?
Nothing else? Okay.
Okay, I just had a question off agenda. What influence or legal authority do the commissioners have regarding public health matters? And your declaration you talked about earlier, emergency status. You guys get asked about it every single week, what you think about it and everything. And so I just wanted to get that clarified.
Our limitation is we can declare an emergency in the case of a health-related issue. It can be health, it can be, like in case we have a flood, and it's a major flood, then there can be an emergency declaration. Ice storm, same deal. There can be an emergency declaration. What does that do? That brings all the particular departments, everything that can come to bear, such as National Guard. Before you can bring the National Guard in, there has to be a local declaration. So that's, something that we can do. Now, when it comes to, and I don't know if you're asking in relation to like COVID or like the
That's
recent.
a big part of it, yes.
Okay. We rely heavily on our health commissioners' recommendations on that. I will tell you that we've been in contact multiple times. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I reached out to Michael Martin on this, Dr. Martin, in regards to with the increased number of cases, should we be doing something here at the courthouse in addition to? Should we be doing more? The answer to that was not yet, and I think we need to look at that word yet, okay? But you know, we rely heavily on doctors. We rely heavily on professionals in regards to that. So I don't know if that answered your question or not, but
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
okay.
Because I think people have questions or concerns if they text in or message in whatever they're doing and not here, to ask you guys your opinions. I mean, I don't know if the public's aware of what your actual legal parameters are. And
Right, we don't issue directives.
I have to look as well.
Okay, we don't issue directives. That's not our job. We don't set health guidelines. We don't do that. That is the health department working in conjunction with the Ohio Department of Health. So any regulations, any orders, anything like that comes from another source. That's not from us. The commissioners, we don't shut anything down. That's not what we do. That would be a Ohio Department of Health guideline. That would be something that they put out there. There's a lot of debate about these guidelines right now. There's a lot of debate about the orders. Of course, we saw just this past week in the Ohio House and the Ohio Senate, they have now passed bipartisan legislation putting in question as far as the legality of these orders that are going out. So there's a lot of debate going on right now in Columbus. There's a lot of discussion in regards to how far these orders can go before they become unconstitutional. So there's a lot of debate on that. So we'll wait, and you know, we rely heavily. We wait upon their guidance, and then we have to weigh those statements. You know what they say. Personally, and Mike and Kathy, you might want to chime in here. I believe we need to be very careful not to infringe on individual rights. It is a hallmark of our Constitution, our constitutional republic. We need to be very careful when it comes to that. I think there's a fine line there, and we need to make sure that we don't lose that cornerstone of our democracy. Our republic has always been big on individual rights, so we need to be very careful that we're not infringing on those. Okay, does that help? I hope that.
That answers my question. Yeah.
Mike, Kathy.
If either one of you have a comment on that?
No, I agree entirely with what he said. And there's really no more to add other than, you know, just as he said, we have to be very careful of people's rights and that they don't cross over onto one another. So, Mike?
Well, I agree with what Brian had to say, but I think, there's been a lot of information over the last couple of months that's been put out by everyone from the state to the President of the United States, and people have to, they have to be responsible for being careful and doing what they have to do and what they feel comfortable with to protect their family and the people they care about. So that being said, I know there's a lot of folks that out there, some of them may or may not be doing things that's a little more risky than others, but when it's all said and done, we've all got to take care of our own, and we've got to make sure that we take care of the people that we care about and encourage others to do the same.
Thank you all very much for
Thank
that
you.
answer.
Thank you. All right, Brian, you're on.
There's a couple
Okay.
comments from Stan Mackley. Scioto County's cases of COVID-19 have doubled in the past 2 weeks. Is there anything you'd like to say to citizens?
I didn't hear the question. What was the question? Or is it?
The county's cases of COVID-19 have doubled in the past 2 weeks. Is there anything you'd like to say to citizens?
I think what people need to realize is they're doing a lot more tests now. They may be picking up on people who were overlooked in the past. And as they do more and more tests, they're probably going to get more, they'll get more cases, obviously, but you got to remember that we're still, you know, for a county our size, we're still a small number of people that have been found with COVID-19. I think the problem areas are more in the more populated, more settled areas, but you're going to see more of that with more and more opportunities to get the COVID-19 tests. I think that's the big thing right now.
I agree. I think that there's so much more testing now, and so that we're, although they're not testing children yet, and so that's a whole nother issue. But with the extra testing, it's logical to assume there's going to be more positive tests, and we'll just have to. The good thing about it, though, is in our area here, there are no deaths. The hospital admissions are still low, and the number of people that have recovered is quite a large number. So those are all good things to consider. But I am like Mike. I'm sure that those numbers of positive tests are going to be greater now with all the extra testing they're doing.
I'd just simply say, be vigilant. If you've been diagnosed with COVID, quarantine, do what they tell you to do. I read earlier where somebody was told to quarantine and they didn't.
Right.
If you're told to quarantine, do that. And be smart. Be wise. You go out in public. I personally am not going into large crowds. I don't feel that that's a smart thing to do right now. Here's the thing, you might be doing all the protocol, but that doesn't mean the other person is. And we know that there's a lot of people that aren't. We should not be shocked if there's 53 confirmed cases in Scioto County. I don't think anybody really believed that we would get through this pandemic without having some numbers. Now, that's 53 out of 75,000. So we need to keep that into consideration. Are there others out there? Guarantee you there are other people out there that have this or have had it, and there's no doubt about that. The key thing, and Kathy hit on this too, hospitalizations have been low. A lot of asymptomatic carriers. There have been 0 deaths. They are finding new ways to treat this pandemic, which is very, very encouraging. And they're finding out that, a ventilator isn't necessarily the best way to go, that there's other therapies that can be done. They're learning a lot about this virus as it goes. So I would just tell people, be vigilant, be safe, use common sense. Don't put yourself in a position to where you could be exposed to it, especially the elderly population. We have to take care of our elderly population. We have to make sure, because we've seen nursing home deaths in the state of Ohio have attributed to 71% of the deaths in this state. 71%, that was as of yesterday. We have to take care of our elderly. We've seen what it's done to that population. We need to take care of our senior citizens. Don't be that person that exposes somebody to this virus. We need to take care of them, and we need to do our best to try to be safe. And people, social distancing guidelines exist for a reason, and people need to be safe.
And don't get lax. I know as time wears people down, and continue to wash your hands frequently, follow the rules, don't touch your face, don't stay in if you're sick, and don't go around sick people that are already sick. Social distancing is a must, and so don't become lax, because this may go on for a much longer time. So just take care.
Amy Barnhart, what organization is doing contact tracing on individuals who test positive for COVID-19?
That's a question for the health department. Anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn? Or recess, I'm sorry, we're not recessing, we're going to executive session. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, executive session, and we are going to be entering the executive session, to discuss pending litigation with legal counsel in accordance with ORC 121.22G3.
Okay, I'll make a motion to enter executive session.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. And I don't believe we'll be taking action immediately after this meeting, so if that helps the press any. I don't think this is an advisory update type executive session, so we won't be taking any action afterwards. Okay.